Hello, in this video we will look at how to transcribe audio when the data is recorded on Atekho. So on login you will see an interface like this. If need, you can change the project. Once that project is activated, you click on this view button. Right at the beginning, this is what you will see since there are no audios. If you have already recorded and validated audio on Atekho, then you should be able to sync those audios to here or pull those audios into this UI. The process is pretty straightforward. So there is this green button called sync audio. You click on this and hopefully it will sync some audios for you. So I had some recordings, it syncs those audios. I'll just move you through some of the relevant parts of this. So what you'll see here, audio source or collection, this is your speaker's name. If you have multiple speakers, then you will need to change the speaker from here to access their data. This is the only relevant thing for this project as of now. The other thing here is transcription source. If more than one people are working on this, then you could change to see what other people have transcribed for the same data. You could look at you could change it to latest, for example, to see what's the latest transcriptions. Remember that if you're looking at someone else's transcription and you click on save, then your own transcription gets replaced by the other person's transcription. Okay, so once you have the audio, then you could start making the boundaries. Making the boundary is pretty simple. So wherever the audio starts, you start the boundary from there, and wherever the audio ends, you end the boundary there. You could use this play button here to start listening to the audio. Also, the waveform itself might be little indicative of where the speech starts. So in this case, it looks like the speech starts from here. So you click and drag, and that's it, the boundary is created. So this is the manual way of creating boundary. You could actually create multiple boundaries. So those of you who are doing folklore, for example, you will have multiple sentences in one recording, so you should be able to mark multiple boundaries like this, right? So in this case there is only one boundary, so we'll just delete the other boundaries. So these buttons are to help you in navigating through this. So the cross button is for deleting all current boundaries, minus is for deleting the current active boundary. So by the way, whenever your boundary color is light pink, that's the color of the active boundary. There are other colors. So for example, if you have created a new boundary, then you'll see that the other boundaries become yellow. So yellow one shows that the boundaries which have been edited but are not saved, and also they are not the active ones. If you have more boundaries which you have saved, then those will be shown in the green color. Okay, let's come back to this. Now in order to transcribe this, you will most likely need to listen to the audio again and again. So this is the light blue color button is what's the one for playing the boundary again and again. So you could, if you click on it, it will start playing from the beginning of the boundary. Similarly, if you want to play from anywhere in between the boundary, you place the cursor there, just click there, and then use the dark blue button to start playing from that position, and the mode, every time you click, it will start playing from that position. So those are the 4 buttons. There is also a 5th button. This button basically allows you to make boundaries automatically. So instead of doing this manually, you could try making the boundaries automatically, but this is generally not very good, especially when there is spontaneous speech involved. So for single translation recordings, it might work well. So if you click on this, I'll just show you how this works. So if you click on this, you'll see that there are a couple of parameters that you need to adjust. So for example, what's the boundary pause threshold? This decides how much of pause minimum pause that is required in order to separate two boundaries. And the second one is the boundary size. So what's the minimum size of a boundary, which is 2 seconds. So it's set to 2 seconds. You can make it smaller or larger as well for each boundary. So larger boundary for a sentence will not make sense anyway. So any sentence should not be generally greater than 2 seconds. The boundary pause threshold, uh, if you see that you have your audio, so if the system has not made uh, boundaries and have actually including more than one sentence in a boundary, then you could try reducing this. If on the other hand, if it's doing too many boundaries and cutting one sentence into multiple boundaries, then you could possibly increase this value to see if it performs better or not. So if we'll click on this make boundaries, it will run. It will take bit of a time and see that it has done some boundary. It may not be very accurate, as I said. So let me play this and let me see if, how well this works. So I could actually make then adjustments to this. So I could say it starts here and it ends here. So the boundary has to be as precise as you could make. Okay, so we are done now. And a lot of times you'll see, especially for single sentences, that it's more effective to just draw the boundary manually. Even for other cases, drawing the boundary manually is generally effective unless there are really lot of sentences and lot of complexities involved there. Okay, so once you click on this, the boundary is created, you click on the boundary, a form opens at the bottom. The form shows your speaker ID. It also shows the prompt that was used for collecting this specific audio, and you have the place to type in IPA. Most likely, an IPA keyboard is already there in the browser, so most likely that will get activated. So this is the SIL IPA keyboard. If you don't know how to type in IPA, we'll probably send you a guide for this keyboard, specific keyboard as well. So this is basically a key combination based keyboard. So for example, if you type E and less than sign, that will lead to a symbol. If you have to type schwa, for example, you will do E and is equal to, so that will make this schwa. So this will help you in typing out IPA on this browser. Now let's say I did some this is the word that was there in this recording. So I recorded this, sorry, I transcribed this. This is your IPA transcription. If you have full sentence, you transcribe the full sentence in one go. Then you come to translation. You then fill up the translation. So there is a chance that your translation will be auto-filled. That depends on some of the factors, but so if your projects are set up in such a way that they would most likely get auto-filled for single translation sentences. But if you are doing folklore, then you will have to translate each sentence one by one. Now let's move to interlinear gloss. Okay, before we do this, let me also make this a full sentence so that glossing functionalities are clearer. Let me translate this prompt itself. So what words do you use in your language to talk about different kinds of land like hills? So let me partially translate this. ओके, सो दिस इज़ द सेंटेंस. आप अपनी भाषा में पहाड़ों के बारे में बात करने के लिए क्या क्या शब्द बोलते हैं? एंड ट्रांसलेशन, save it, let's go to gloss. So let me reset this to have 4 words in each row. So you'll see that there's this box with 4 words, and then there are several such boxes. Now what you see is that at this point the project is set up in such a way that you have one row for glossing, and then you have three other rows for specifying translation, lemma and upause separately. Now if you are generally in glossing, you are expected to do morphemic break. If you are doing morphemic break, then these boxes become more apparent. So I'll just show you how this becomes useful. If you're not doing morphemic break, if you're doing only word to word translation and word to word POS mapping, then only glossing block should suffice. So for example, you could simply up will be translated as you, and then you can possibly have, so this will be second, second is second person, and not sure if it's there or not. Yeah, it's not there, so you have to type that out on honorific, and this is singular, so singular is there. So this is your grammatical description, right? So the second person non-honorific singular pronoun, and what you have given here is the translation of the word in the first row. So you could obviously you could use I've given a morphemic description of the a detailed grammatical description. You could simply use the part of a speech as well, if you don't know what all grammatical description to attach to it. But the more grammatical description you attach, the better it is. Right? You could I'm leaving the other rows out. Now let's come to this. Now you see that there are at least two morphemes there, so which you could separate out. So you can give a dash, and that separates out the two morphemes. Now this is where you'll see that the other rows become really important, because in the translation column now you will have to fill up the translation of the whole word that is made up of two different morphemes. So in this glossing row, each word or each morpheme will get its own meaning, and some of those may not have meaning per se. So leave the meaning out, and you can just put here. So this is plural, right? And so this is I'm not sure this if the case is getting marked, but you can mark it a direct case or nominative case. Let's marking plural for now, and then in translation you can give the translation of the whole word. So this is and then you could talk. So what is the lemma here? And lemma in this case is pahad, but in especially in verbs or in some other cases, lemma may not be completely distinguishable from this one. So it may not be exactly same as one of the morphemes that you have broken down. So in that case you will have to write the lemma as well. So that gives better information. So we are using glossing column to mark pause as well at this point, but generally, so as I said, morphemic information is marked. In that case, upause is what you'll use for marking the POS. So that's how the interface works. You can the idea is that you give minimal amount of information, so you give the meaning and you give the POS. Anything more than that, so morphemic level information or morphemic breaks, etc., those are good to have. Those are additional information that's good to have. And so along with that, of course, if you need to use any of the other rows as well, if you want to specify those, please feel free to use those rows. Once done, save it. So that's how glossing works. You just keep on glossing each of the sentence. That's how you gloss the sentence word by word. Right, so once you have done the glossing, or if you're still in the process of glossing, and generally things don't happen in one go, so you could go ahead and take a look at these some of these. So you go back, and once you're finished with an audio, you mark it finished, uh, and of course for later sessions, or even for reviewing what work is done, what work is left, you can use the browse section. So in the browse section, you'll say that if you have marked something finished, it will be marked as true, and things like that. You will have audio files there which you can play and listen to that. One important thing here is view. So if you go to view, you should be able to see uh, some of these information. So also there is a filter here, so in case it doesn't load automatically, then you can use this filter to select what you want to see here, and this shows your boundaries. So this is again very useful if you're doing folklore or narrative data where you have multiple boundaries, and you can look at each boundary and look at their transcription and translation. Then also use the edit button to go to that specific audio and edit it further if needed. So this is all that could be done. You could use browse and this interface for transcribing and glossing the data that you have collected. That's it. Thank you.